I'll just wait till we're at 10:30 since that's what we said. We need to make some more copies for the presses here. How many? I was told 8 earlier, but I think there might be, how many total different agencies are here?
It's like about 10 or 12.
Okay. So I have a copy of the probable cause affidavit, one of the probable cause affidavits for you. That way you don't have to bother the court and go up there and get that. So I'll have a copy for you. I've only got 8 copies right now, so if you don't get a copy when we're done here today, get with me and I'll make some more copies.
This side. I'll be next to you.
You guys good if I start, or you need me to wait a few seconds? Good morning. Thank you to everybody who came here today. We appreciate your assistance, and we're going to ask for your continued assistance in this matter, in this case today. So we're thankful for everybody that's here. This is a message that we want to get out to everybody and spread across the country. So it's a bittersweet day. Bitter because no matter what progress is made, what happens in a case, we're still dealing with the tragic death of a precious young child. And that, unfortunately we can't change that. So bitter in that way, but, the wheels of justice do turn and we do make progress. And so we have information today regarding the case that we're thankful that we're able to come here with that information today and keep moving forward to answer a lot of questions and again to ask for your assistance. So I'm just going to, with me today, I'm Sergeant Kerry Hall, the Public Information Officer for the Sellersburg Post, Indiana State Police. With me today is Tara Coates Hunt. She's the Chief Prosecuting or Deputy Prosecutor with the Washington County Prosecutor's Office. Again, this is a Washington County, Indiana case, and their office will be handling it, as well as the lead detective in this case, Detective Matt Busick from the Indiana State Police here in Sellersburg. Also have Sheriff Brent Miller from the Washington County Sheriff's Department with us today, and we're just thankful for the support of everybody here. Just a brief overview on this case. April 16th of this year, 2022, a young child was found deceased in a very distinctive suitcase on Holder Road, Southeast Washington County, near Pekin, Indiana. Holder Road is a dead-end road. It's very isolated, not heavily traveled at all. That was back on April 16th again. At that time, when we were first notified of the child being discovered, very little information was there for our units, our detectives, our officers to work with. There were no witnesses. There were no family members. There were no acquaintances that came forward with any type of information. We only had what we had there at the scene. And that was it. We had worked almost instantaneously with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and any lead from that also proven successful. No matches to any child that was listed as missing. We had thousands of tips. We did have a dedicated tip line that's still open. Thousands of tips have come in over the past months. Again, this has been approximately 6 months since April 16th, on a tragic morning or evening. Thousands of tips came in. Unfortunately, none of those tips were associated with this case. And we are very grateful for those tips that came in. We're grateful for the public's interest in this case, obviously wanting justice for this young boy. Again, at the time, we advised that it was a approximately 5-year-old black male child who was found in that suitcase with no apparent signs of trauma. But we are thankful for all those tips that came in. And we do want the public's help, obviously. And we're thankful for their attention to this case. An autopsy was performed shortly after that. And again, there was no signs of physical trauma that we could detect. The autopsy also did not detect any signs of physical trauma that was readily available or seen. The autopsy listed the cause of death as electrolyte imbalance that caused a viral gastronitis. I'm not a doctor, so I can't explain all that, but that was the cause of death listed on the autopsy. Also, at that time, toxicology reports did not reveal anything. There was nothing in toxicology reports that would lead us to a cause of death. From the onset, detectives and crime scene technicians and Indiana State Police laboratory personnel utilized physical evidence in hopes of discovering, determining, locating a suspect in this case. I want to emphasize that no crime scene evidence technologies were spared in this case, in this investigation by the Indiana State Police, including those available only through federal and outside agencies. So we utilized everything we could. Anything that was a possibility was looked into, and the department was 100% behind it. Any type of funding or anything like that was needed. There was nothing spared in this case. As a result of physical evidence and the investigation itself, our detectives were able to identify 2 suspects in this case. And detectives were also able to identify the deceased child. On October 14th, based on information in this investigation, the Washington County Circuit Court issued 2 felony warrants, arrest warrants. One for Dawn Elaine Coleman, 40, of Shreveport, Louisiana. Another for Dewan, and I'm not sure about the pronunciation on this, Ludi Anderson. Dewan Ludi Anderson, 37, of Atlanta, Georgia, who is the mother of the deceased child. Those felony warrants were for neglect of a defendant resulting in death, a level 1 felony, as well as obstruction of justice, a level 6 felony. As a result of the information gathered in this investigation, Detective Matt Busick, who is the lead investigator, and Detective Chris Tucker, also from the Indiana State Police post here in Sellersburg, traveled to California. On October 19th, just a few days ago, Detective Busick located and arrested Dawn Coleman with the assistance of the San Francisco PD. The investigation is ongoing and continuing. As a result of information that's still being worked on in this investigation, the 2 also traveled to Los Angeles metro area after arresting Dawn Coleman. They were unsuccessful in locating Dewan Anderson, but they believed she could possibly be. Again, the investigation continues as a result of information that's gathered. On Tuesday, October 25th, the Washington County Circuit Court issued an arrest warrant for murder for the mother, Dawn Anderson. Again, units were unsuccessful in locating Dawn Anderson in the Los Angeles metro area, if I did not make that clear. On Tuesday, that arrest warrant was issued for murder for Dewan Anderson. Dewan Anderson is currently at large. Again, she's the mother of the deceased. She's described as a black female, approximately 5'5", around 135 pounds. In her last known photo, which I have here courtesy of the Louisville Metro Corrections Department, she had dark brown hair at that time, short, dark, very dark brown hair. Again, this is the last known official photo that we have of her. We're going to attempt to get better photos. We believe we can get a better photo. Again, she's from Georgia, and we're going to attempt to get a better photograph of her for you. Dwan Anderson is last known to have been in the Echo Park area of Los Angeles, California. But since this investigation began, she's traveled to several locations west, including Houston, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco. At this time, her whereabouts is unknown. So again, she's at large, and we're looking for the public's assistance in locating her. At this time, we can also identify, excuse me, identify the young man that was found in the suitcase. He was Cairo Amar Jordan. Cairo Amar Jordan was from Atlanta, Georgia, excuse me. He was 5 years old at the time of his death. And Cairo would have turned 6 this past Monday on October 24th. Again, Cairo Amar Jordan, he was 5, from Atlanta, Georgia. The Georgia Bureau of Investigations has assisted us in this case as well, and they have made contact with his family members after we were able to get more confirmation that the boy was in fact Cairo, which, this investigation has a lot of twists and turns, a lot of information. It may sound like it just moves methodically based on the information I read. So please know that this probable cause affidavit that we'll hand out has a lot of information. That's still just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of information in this case. So realize that, we're still not going to be able to answer every in and out of this investigation, but we're giving you as much as we possibly can. I will give you a copy of that probable cause affidavit. That probable cause affidavit is for Coleman, who again was arrested in San Francisco just a few days ago. That's all the information I have at this time. Detective Busey, would you like to make any statements as far as?
No.
Okay. So Ms. Coleman will be transported here to Indiana sometime within the next under 30 days. She will be here on Indiana soil to answer to those charges. Again, we need the public's help in locating the mother, Dwan Anderson. So I've shown that photo. We'll have that photo for you to go out and hopefully a better photo. But we desperately want the public's help in finding her and bringing her to justice. This whole case is all about justice for Cairo. That's the only thing this case has ever been about. So I know there's been lots of questions and why don't we do this and why don't we do that? The investigators have a lot of information and they all have their reasons, but the main reason is the integrity of this case and so that justice is served. And so even some things that may seem obvious that why wouldn't you do this? There are reasons why they can't. And if we have done some of those suggestions that come in from the public and from the media, it's very possible we wouldn't be standing here today. We would have nobody in handcuffs. We would have nobody in jail right now, bringing them back for a trial. So just understand that there's always a reason. We don't take obviously anything lightly at all. It's a very serious investigation. Again, the department's had nothing back on this investigation for our detectives to be able to do what they need to do. So having said that, that's all the information I have at this time. We can take a few moments maybe for a few questions. Again, I'm not going to get into specifics. I've given you a lot, and I will give you the probable cause affidavit that you can look into.
Can you provide the spelling?
Sure. Again, I'll start at the beginning. The first arrest, Dawn, D-A-W-N, Elaine, E-L-A-I-N-E, Coleman, C-O-L-E-M-A-N. She was 40, from Shreveport, Louisiana. the mother, and currently at large, Dejuane, Dejuane. Middle name spelling, I'm not positive on the pronunciation. Spelling is Ludie. Last name of Anderson, common spelling Anderson. 37 from Atlanta, Georgia. Cairo, Amar Jordan. Cairo, Jordan, Jordan, and he is also from Atlanta, Georgia.
What's Don's relation?
Excuse me?
What is Don Coleman's relation
Oh,
to anyone?
we can't get into that right now as far as I don't have all the specifics that we're going to get into, but not related physically that I know of, the information that I
Do
have.
they have any ties to this area at all? Was she in Metro Corrections? Is that
She
the
was,
photo?
that photo was provided by Louisville Metro Corrections. She was arrested by LMPD a few weeks prior to this case beginning. So my knowledge is they were only here temporarily. I'm sure you guys will do your due diligence and look into the background.
What
And
was she charged with? Do you know?
I don't have that information specifically in front of me. I believe it was some type of a theft charge, but I can't say that for sure.
Have you spoken with Cairo's father?
The Georgia, yes, detectives from this agency have spoken with family members, and we also were assisted by the Georgia Bureau of Investigations.
When you arrested Dawn, what did you say about what happened?
Well, we don't get into any comments about that are made, any statements, any witness statements or suspect statements. But she was arrested. She was, interviewed as part of this investigation.
But what were they doing in Washington County?
Do you want to answer that? Do you want any issues with me just giving general background on that? Yeah, they weren't from this area. They were passing through. Again, when you guys do your due diligence and investigating backgrounds, you'll probably come up with some accurate conclusions as to why they may have been in this area. That would have been about the time of if I correct me, that would have been somewhere around the time of the Kentucky Derby in the springtime, but I'm not positive on that.
Do you know if she had any other children?
I do not have any information on other siblings or family members or any children for her.
So for the two charges, the obstruction of justice and the neglect of dependent resulting in death, if convicted, what's the maximum sentence?
Can you speak to that? Or would you like to speak to that at all? They're both felonies. One is a level 1 felony, the other is a level 6 felony. So a level 1 felony is basically, it's the most serious other than murder, which is just listed as a felony. A level 1 felony is the most severe felony. So it's, I don't have the specifics right now as to the maximum they could be sentenced to.
Have they offered any kind of suggestion or why they left the child in a suitcase and on a dead end road?
Again, lots of information, and some information is in the probable cause affidavit. We're not going to speak to that this morning. Again, it is an ongoing investigation. We're still looking for one, but there's a lot of information that you will have access to in the probable cause affidavit. So we don't speak as an agency. It's our rule not to speak towards any statements or any motives. We don't speak to any of that.
Are both of the charges for both of the individuals the first?
The first two charges I listed, neglect and obstruction of justice, those charges stand for both. We have a murder warrant listed for Dejuane Anderson, the mother.
Can you address at all why this has become a murder case?
Again, just information that's gathered. The detectives have gone through a lot of information, tons of interviews. In the last few days, lots of information to come over and specialists to work with. So, as a whole, the information that they have makes our department and the prosecutor's office confident in a murder charge, and that's why that warrant's out there. Again, we have probable cause for that murder warrant. So the PC affidavit, again, has lots of information listed. You won't have the PC affidavit for Anderson because she is not in custody. That is not a public document. But the other PC affidavit has lots of information. Again, that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. We don't put everything, a whole case, into a PC affidavit, just what's needed to establish probable cause.
Speak
Was
about
there
the,
any information that Cairo could have been in danger or that authorities had been called on his mother before for his safety or anything like that?
I don't at this time have that information, but I don't have information that's saying that that's the case.
Or was he enrolled in school?
I don't have that information at this time.
Speak about just the importance of getting the public's help. Obviously,
Right.
you all relied on tips from day one.
Right.
And just in locating, the suspect.
Right.
the child's mother.
Again, we had the special tip line. We asked for tips. We got thousands of tips. Unfortunately, none of them were successful. To my knowledge, Cairo, or to our knowledge, Cairo was never listed as a missing person. He was not listed as a missing child. Nobody ever reported him missing. So that would have helped, obviously, had that information been in a system someplace. So that's responsible. People who are responsible for his care and well-being have to do that. That's nothing we can control.
Because parts of these crimes cross state lines and the investigation obviously cross state lines, why has the state of Indiana and Washington County made a point of adjudicating this?
That's a very good question. But long story short, basically, that's where the body was located, and the way the law is written, it can stand at that location. We can assume things. We may have information for different locations, but in the end, the child's body was found deceased at that location. So
Any idea where the child died specifically? Was it in Georgia? Was it on the West Coast?
again, we can't get into all the specifics of the case, but we can say that he was deceased, when he was located at that location.
What does justice for Cairo look like for you all who have been investigating this for 6 months? I can tell that everyone's feeling emotional in this room. What does justice look like for you?
Justice means bringing everybody who's responsible for this death here and having them stand and go through the system and be found, justice served through the court system. We want justice for Cairo. Many sleepless nights for our detectives and officers involved in this. It's not just our department, it's the Washington County Sheriff's Department was the first officer on the scene. The gentleman who found him, the mushroom hunter, if you recall from the original news release, who found him, the whole community came together. Many of you were there for the funeral where he was laid to rest and given a proper burial and the recognition that we could and the honor that we could for him at that time. So justice, for everybody means bringing those responsible for his death before the public to stand trial.
The break in the case then was physical evidence that led first to the suspects or first to identifying Cairo?
Physical evidence, and again, I won't get into exact physical evidence, but physical evidence led suspects. And, as the investigation continues, it all kind of snowballs or expands.
How difficult or easy was it to find Don Coleman and where was she found exactly in San Francisco?
I don't have the specific location where she was located, but, our detectives, our crime scene analysts, our crime scene technicians have a lot of advanced technology and systems at their use to look in and utilize. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not, but they had a lot of different technologies that they utilized. Specifically how they did that, I can't get into that, but just know that a lot of people were working on this case here, Indianapolis, all over trying to assist in this.
Are you aware that if Cairo he was in his mother's custody at the time of his death?
Say that one more time.
Was he, did his mother have full custody of Cairo?
I don't have specific information on the custody, legal custody, but obviously, with the charges, we know that he was with her. So as far as who has official legal custody, I believe that could be the case, but I don't have that specific answer in front of me.
How is it becoming so difficult to find a mother? What happened? You went to LA and then couldn't find her.
Right. Again, sometimes, it's just like anything else. Things change. They may have information that's available, and over time, the information can stop. Again, we don't get into specifics of how it was done, but they obviously were able to at least attempt to track or locate after they had an identity for a certain period of time. But at a certain point, that wasn't. They couldn't follow through with that anymore. Got them as close as they could. They did go to California and attempt to locate in the last known area. They were assisted by the Los Angeles Police Department there as well. Federal agencies, I need to mention it too, also assisted with this case. Not specifically at that location, to my knowledge, but throughout the case, our detectives have been in close contact with various federal agencies who have assisted. But yeah, the technologies, whatever they were at the time that they used, sometimes that's available and sometimes it's not. Sometimes things change, and something we did have is no longer a source.
When speaking to the family of Cairo, did you all get any explanation why there wasn't a missing child's
Yeah,
report?
I don't have information on that now, and I haven't spoken with the family myself, so I'm sure there's reasons, but no, I don't have information as to.
Well, Cairo remain in Indiana. I know that.
That's very early for me, just for anybody to say, that's not something that I would be a part of and be able to answer, in years or times future after everything's completed. That's probably a matter for the family, but I'm not the one to make that call.
I know this case has been personal for you. There have been sleepless nights for yourself and for so many others in your department, for the community, anyone who's a parent really watching this. How does it feel to finally be able to take a breath and read that voicemail?
Well, we're not going to take a breath other than just, we're still in full stride on this investigation. So, yes, obviously, we've been looking, like I said at the beginning, bittersweet. Nothing's going to change the fact that Cairo's not with us, but we're very thankful for the information that we do have, and we can step forward. We've wanted from the get-go to be able to say we've identified this child and we've identified suspects, and we realize it takes time. But in the whole scheme of things, 6 months later, we started with nothing other than what was in front of us in the woods that evening. And nobody came forward with any useful information. Not anybody's fault, but nobody could provide any information. Nobody that could provide information came forward. So they went from having nothing other than what lay there in front of them to a lot of answers in 6 months' time. And that really speaks well to our Detective Usick and our detectives and our crime scene technicians, our analysts, everybody involved.
What kind of physical evidence led to this?
Again, we don't get into specifics. You'll have information relied to you with the probable cause affidavit that will mention stuff, but we specifically don't mention that during.
You mentioned resources beyond ISP. Could you talk about at least what those resources were that may have helped fund?
Again, there's numerous technologies that are out there. Some are very advanced, DNA technologies, those types of things. We have the technology within the Indiana State Police for some of that, but there's even more advanced DNA technologies that were assisted by other agencies. Facial recognition technologies were utilized at one point by federal agencies. So again, multiple agencies assisted. Some of those have, especially the federal backing, it can do a lot of things that the state agency can't. So we were very thankful for that information and those abilities to help us.
Would anyone from Washington County like to address how this has impacted your community and the way that your community really adopted this unknown boy?
I mean, excuse me, I'm sorry. I can personally speak, and if Sheriff wants to. I'm also from Washington County.
Okay.
It was my pastor who led the service, the funeral service from my church. So the community really came together. And it was very emotional and traumatic. We had candlelight vigils, but it's impacted the community tremendously. Why is this child here? But Sheriff, would you like to say anything?
I could only echo what you said, Gary, about that and how that's impacted the community and everybody coming together. And we appreciate, all the hours that has been spent by the Indiana State Police and other law enforcement agencies, to identify this child and to identify suspects and to get at least one of those suspects in custody at this time. And hopefully with the help of the community, we'll be able to get the other suspect, in custody in a timely manner so that we can bring them both back here to Indiana to bring some closure to this case.
Is Don Coleman being cooperative, would you say, in this investigation?
Again, I can't get into statements or anything like that at this time. So again, you'll have information that's listed in the probable cause affidavit that may assist you in some of those questions. But yes, it's very traumatic. Again, I started to say earlier, a lot of sleepless nights, especially by the detectives involved. Detective Busick has spent numerous hours, and not just Detective Busick, but he is the lead investigator and has done an outstanding job. But all the detectives involved and the people involved in this case, so much information to comb over, to read through, to scan, to watch, hours upon hours. And obviously, the people at the scene, the events that they saw unfolded before them that evening. Sheriff Miller's deputy was the first on the scene. Very traumatic, event for him. So it's affected the community as a whole very deeply. So I don't have any more specific comments. I think that covers what we want to say here today. So again, once we're done here, I will give copies of the probable cause affidavit to each of you. But the number one thing at this point is we have a suspect that's at large. We have a murder warrant for DeJuan Anderson, and we need the public's help, no matter where you live, anywhere in the United States, possibly, out of the country, we can use help locating her. So for Cairo, help us locate her for Cairo so justice can be served for him. Thank you.
I know you did this at the beginning, but would you say and spell your name again, please?
Sure. It's Sergeant Carey Hull, Careyhuls. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna share the mom's photos. I found several other photos of the mom outside of the ones that they shared, but I'm gonna show you the first one that I have that was provided by police is right here. So give me one moment. So her name, she's a suspect at large. They are looking for her. She's the one who did this to Cairo. So her name is DeJuan Ludi Anderson. And his dad, Cairo's dad, is on Facebook. And he's also shared photos of her. He's really upset. So take a screenshot of that, please. Share it everywhere. I think the dad says that she's last in San Francisco. Let me make sure though. Yeah, she's been seen in San Francisco lately, he said. Give me 1 minute. So I'm going to take this one down. And I'm going to share his post. I really want to share the photos of Cairo, but I think it's really important to share these first. So I have each one of these. I'll get, in a minute, I'll put up the full photo, but this is his post on Facebook. This is the woman who killed my son, DeJuan Anderson. She's been seen in San Francisco lately. She's from Decatur, Georgia. And then he hashtagged rest in peace, Cairo, Jordan. So let me get the full photos for you. Here's one. That is who they're looking for. Shelly-Ann, I don't think it'll be long either. I think that too, with a family who is outraged, they might be able to figure it out quicker. Did I say it wrong, Gigi? And Fizzle are correcting me on the way I say it. All right. Hey, Duchess. Why hadn't he been reported missing? I don't know. And that's very maddening because I always found it to be so troubling that nobody had reported this child missing when he was found by the man in the woods, right? In his own yard, he found him in a suitcase. Please pray for that man. I don't think I heard them mention him. All he wanted was for this little boy, Cairo, to have a name. And I'm sure today is a very emotional day for the man who found Cairo. So I'm going to take this one down. I'm going to share the next one. This is a little bit older, but the dad shared it. So I'm just going to get the photos out. He wants everyone to know what she looks like too. So, okay, Luda, should I check it right now? Is it important? Oh, you sent me her Facebook? Okay, hold on one sec. I'll look. Thank you, Luda. They did mention him. When didn't I hear that then? Okay, it's no biggie. Good, I'm glad that they mentioned him because I thought of him like right away. All right, so then the dad posted also. I'm going to read to you what he wrote. Maybe I should look at the profile first. Hold on a minute. Oh, what's this that just came out? Evil Exists just dropped a video. Will somebody drop Evil Exists video in the chat that just came out for Cairo, please? Luda, that one that you sent me, like I have to go into my Facebook. I don't know why. Here it is. So this is her Facebook link. Here, I'm going to drop it in the chat. This is the mother. Cairo. So it's Duan. She spells it with an E. Anderson. You guys can go sleuth away with that, okay? All right. So let me pull up what the dad wrote. You guys can go look around Facebook and everything and find all the things. That's her profile. But while you do that, I'm going to read you guys what the dad put on Facebook. Hey, Birdie. Is the mother alive? Yeah, she's at large. They're looking for her. She needs to turn herself in. They will find her. Okay. 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the post from Cairo's dad, and he posted this 11 hours ago on Facebook. All right. Hey, John Davis, I know I need to get back to you. Hey, Laura, I see you. I see you. You're not blocked. Why would you be blocked on my channel? Never. Okay, so I wasn't looking at the chat. I'm going to read what the father wrote, okay? I'm going to read it to you guys. So it says, today my heart was broken into a million pieces. I got a call from an officer telling me that my 5-year-old son, Cairo Jordan, who ironically turned 6 today, was murdered by his mother, Duan Anderson, in Indiana, April 14, 2022. It's October 25th, his birthday, and they are just now notifying me about his death. Me and my family have spent the past 3 years looking for Duan and Cairo. She took him away at the beginning of our custody battle back in 2017. She threatened to call the police on me for coming to pick him up on an agreed weekend. She never showed up in court, and it's killing me because that weekend is the last time I seen my baby boy. I swear, y'all, I don't know. I swear y'all don't know the pain. As a father, I feel defeated. This was the only thing I feared on this earth. This sick bitch smothered my son, put his body in a suitcase, and threw him on the side of the road like fucking trash outside of Salem, Indiana. The unidentified little boy who was found in a suitcase is my son, Cairo Jordan. His story has been on CNN and other news platforms for the past 6 months. And the whole time, it's my child. OMFG. Hold on one sec. Let me get the next part. Please put prayer hands in the chat for Cairo, please. And for all of his family, because there are a lot of people hurting around this baby boy. So he says, boy, when I tell you I'm sick to my stomach, everyone knows how I am about my kids, and I never thought I would have got that call today. This is a parent's worst nightmare. Choose your mate wisely, y'all. It's deeper than just baby mama, baby daddy drama. Rest in heaven, Cairo. I love you, son. And now I'm going to share Cairo's photos that his dad put up. And I'm not looking at chat, so I apologize if I'm missing things. Laura, welcome to memberships. Thank you so much. Good to see you. I miss you. All right, so this is a photo of Cairo. This is the one that I put on just to throw on there so you guys could see his face because he's so beautiful. I cried when I saw his eyes and just like, I just cannot believe these monster parents out there who just snuff their babies out of this world. Here, let me blow it up for you. If you guys want to take a screenshot, he is beautiful. And he's not the little boy in a suitcase anymore. He has a name. Make sure you say his name. Anytime you talk about him, try not to call him that. I'm going to adjust my title also because I think it's important that he just goes by his name. Can I put Betty in a suit? Laura, you can't make me laugh right now. What are you trying to do? She wants to put Betty in a suitcase. Come on. She comes in with the jokes at the very wrong time every time. Right, Laura? Let's see, Mystic. I can't either. So many families want a child and can't have one. I'll never understand. Neither. Yes, thank you, Duchess. So filicide. Filicide is the killing of one son or daughter. And that's what we see here all the time. That is what it's called. So I'm going to show you the next photo of Cairo that his dad posted. They put up a lot of pictures of him. This one. Aw, Benny says kings come from Cairo. I'm so happy that his headstone will now have his name on it because right now it does not have his name. So thank goodness they've identified him, and props to the Indiana State Police because they've done such an amazing job. You can tell how passionate those officers really are about Cairo. They're going to give him justice. Laura, yeah, the man who found him. I know. I'm going to play the video. I really want to hear what he has to say when, a couple days pass by. But I was gonna play that video too of the man because he is the one who found him. Thank God for him. Isn't he beautiful? All right, let me show you the next one. I don't want to make this too long, but I want to make sure that this was him as a baby. And these all came from his dad. Isn't he precious? Guys, make sure that you take those photos of his mom and put her face everywhere. Really important that people see her face. Like, they need to find her immediately. Justice for Cairo, absolutely. She's not in custody, no, Jax. They can't find her. They don't know where she is at the moment. I'm going to try to go through these quickly. So I'm going to take down the comments. That way they're not in the way. This is one photo that his dad shared also. He was little. Can this video be shared on Facebook? This one, my live? Yeah, you could share it. Of course. I'll make a flyer. Also, I'll make a couple of them. And please don't blame anybody in his family in my chat. Just pray for the baby and that they find the woman who did this. Not all dads are around. Some of them don't take care of their kids and they don't know they're missing. Okay? Doesn't make them. I think this man is grieving. Okay. Stop. And you blame his mother. That's who had him. Everyone's really quick to judge. There's another photo. Not you. Who am I? It was not to you. This is another photo. Yeah, looks like there was a disconnect, I think, because he said she took off with him. Go back. If you didn't listen to what I read like 2 minutes ago on his post, just go back and listen to it, whatever that lady's name was in the chat, because she probably came in last minute not knowing like what we're doing here. So some people get confused. They don't take the time to go back and listen. Hold on. Here's a picture of him when he was a babe, like brand new. Look. So I'll drop his dad's Facebook link to you guys so you can look for posts from him. I think he's going to fight for justice for his son. I hope, anyhow. It seems that way to me. So these are just his photos that he shared, and I will share more, and I'll probably put together like okay, Laura, you have a good day. I'll probably put together a video for Cairo, and then when more photos come out, I'll make sure you guys can see them. Cha-Cha, you have to rewind back. You want me to show a picture of the mother again, the one that I will do that before I end this. I'm gonna make a flyer too that people can share. Were they in a custody fight? It kind of sounds that way, Laura. Maybe like between the two of them. Has anyone gotten more info on the other person who was arrested? Over here, so no. And I think that they're like holding off a little bit. It seemed like they were holding back on information on the other person. Their name was Dawn Coleman. So if anybody is able to find out about her, that'll be interesting. Never heard of this case. Joe's mom, this little boy was found in a suitcase in Indiana in a field, well, like in the woods kind of, and the suitcase had Las Vegas written on it. For sure, rest in paradise. God knew his name when he took him to heaven. That's all that matters. But now his headstone will actually read his name. So what I'm going to do is really quick, I'll show the mother again so you guys can have her photo. I did get rid of it. Hold on a minute. I'm thinking I should probably, let me do this. So I'll share the 3 that I have, okay? I have 3 photos of her. And then her Facebook link. Luda, will you drop her Facebook in the chat for people too? That way they can see her. Because I know Luda has the link handy. Okay, so here she is. This is what is being provided. Actually, do I have a better one? I think I do. The better one than that. That one has a glare on it. Here, use this one. Take this one down. One's horrible. I got the wrong one. Take this one instead. And I'll give you the correct spelling of her name. Here. So the way you spell her name is Dejuane. And her middle name is Ludie. And her last name is Anderson. Anderson. That's from the Department of Corrections, I believe. So best to stick with that one. That's the one that the police are putting out. But the dad did share 2 photos of her as well. Yeah, Mama B, he said he's been looking for his son for 3 years in the post that he put up. Yep. He turned 6 yesterday, was his birthday. October 25th was his birthday. So yesterday he would have been 6 years old, his first birthday in heaven. They haven't arrested her, Alex, because she's a suspect at large. They don't know where she is. So they're looking for her. So if you can get her face out there, that would be great. Let me share 2 other photos of her. That way people have them. I don't know what she looks like. I don't know if she's done up or if she doesn't look like put together at all right now, whatever. So you guys can see her in both forms. I'm sure she's somewhere living it up, like all of these monsters. All right, so there's another photo of her. Yeah, she's on the run. They're looking for her. All right, and then the next photo I'm going to share of her. I put these in the beginning, but best to put them again. This is another one. Yeah, I can put something together for you guys, or you can just take these and share them right out, especially if you're in the San Francisco area. Right, Trish, that's what I noticed too. So best to share them with her in both forms, you know? Why didn't she just give Cairo to his daddy? Women like her, the worst of the worst. Hakuna, I know, right? He looks so well taken care of with his dad. Really, really sad. So here, what I'll do is, did I send that to myself before? We'll watch the video of the man who found him, and then I'll close this out, but I'll come back, of course, to update you on, you know, everything that I can. This is from before. So this is when Cairo did not have a name. He was very concerned about that. So I'll share this.
From a man who found the body of a young boy dead in a suitcase in southern Indiana.
Hold on 1 minute. I'm going to share this video. So this has been going on for quite a while. Is Benny trying to keep my chat with cleaned up? I saw that. I let people swear in here. Hold on 1 minute. So nice. Hold on. So here is the video. Many prayers to this man. Cairo was blessed to have been found by him. Thank goodness he was walking and paying attention. God knows Cairo could still be out there, not found, had it not been for him. So
From a man who found the body of a young boy dead in a suitcase in southern Indiana.
The man was hunting for mushrooms near Pekin in Washington County, and that's when he found a hard suitcase, and you can see this print of Las Vegas on the outside.
As police are still now working to identify the body, new tonight at 6 o'clock, Tom Lally from our sister station in Louisville takes us deep into the woods where the man made that horrible discovery.
Jeff Meredith calls this place heaven. It's the woods outside his home. He says he can sit for hours every day and just watch it. But on one day, April 16th, he found something out of place. It was a boy. And now it's his mission to find that boy's name.
When I first saw that little feller, immediately I felt that he was telling me, help me. I need help.
It was late that Saturday. Jeff Meredith was out in the woods of his property looking for mushrooms.
And I decided to cross over and mushroom hunt on this side here. And I come up on the body.
Body of a boy in a suitcase, 80 feet off the road. Jeff thought to call police, but he told me he'd feel like a fool if they got there and it was just a suitcase, so he opened it.
It's wrong. God, is it wrong? In every way.
Nearly 2 weeks later, it's tough for him to get close to that spot again.
It bothers me, but it ain't about me. It's about that little boy that they threw away like a piece of trash. That's what bothers me worse than anything in the world, because I've got 5 grandbabies.
3 of them are around that boy's age. He's a proud grandpa who cared for his kids so that they could one day raise their own.
It's the blessing of life to watch them develop into the little human beings that they will be later on.
One little human will never get to be more. Jeff's learning to accept he can't control that, but he hopes to convince someone to come forward with information on the death and, most importantly, a name.
He deserves to have a name, you know? Just like you and I, we've got a name, and we want a name put on our stone after we're gone. And he deserves that. So if anybody out there knows anything, please come forward. Because that little 5-year-old boy needs you now more than ever to give him his dignity back to him.
Want to get you up to date on where the investigation stands right
I want to stop it right there because I feel like it's advanced so much since then. I don't want anyone to come in right now and think that that's where we're at in this. So hold on, let me just put up one more picture of him before I close this out. And he has a name. I'm so happy he has a name and an identity. Because the woman who brought him into this world left him with no identity. This beautiful baby. So share his photo and share his name, but most of all, make sure you share his mother's photo. Share it on social media. Facebook is really powerful. Aw, angry me, I know, right? Like when you look at the way strangers react to other people, other people's children being harmed and the people themselves, it's very strange, right? He is gorgeous. All right, so that's the update. I'll come back if there's any more. I was really emotional when I saw this, so I needed a minute before I could really, I think I started streaming a few minutes late, but I had tears like pouring when I saw him. So rest in peace, Cairo Amar Jordan. And I'll come back to update soon. Thank you for everyone who is here and who keeps showing up for Cairo over all the time we've been talking about him intermittently. A lot of people care about Cairo, so talk to you soon, guys. Bye.